आम सुंदर हमारे यार लखन को जिया लल के
श्याम सुंदर हमारो यार लखन को जिया लल के
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 श्याम सुंदर. Welcome to day 2 of our Bhagavad Gita series. We are discussing chapter 12, Bhakti Yoga, the yoga of devotion. Do take a moment to see that your mobile phones are in the Bhagavad Gita pravachan mode. Let's forget the entire world and soak our intellect in the wisdom that Sri Krishna is sharing with Arjuna. We discussed that in chapter 11, Sri Krishna showed Arjuna his cosmic form. And in chapter 12, Arjuna asks, is devotion to that form superior or devotion to your personal form superior? Arjuna explained that the embodied soul who possesses a body, not yogis who reside in subtle bodies in the Himalayas, but normal humans like you and I, our sanskars are to deal with forms. All of us are habituated to forms. We have been interacting with forms, and we naturally relate to God with a form. Hence, attaching the mind to the personal form is easy. Engaging in meditation of the personal form is easy. Make sense? Also, he explained that this is a higher realization of the Supreme. His entire personality rather than mere light. He then said, Arjuna, if you go by the path of Jnana Yoga, your journey will be full of tribulations. However, if you follow the path of bhakti, I will take you out of the ocean of life and death and bestow you the highest goal. He thereby established his preference for the path of bhakti, devotion, love. Now he is going to tell us how to do bhakti. Number 8. Mayeva mana adhatsva
मय्येव मन आधत्स्व
मयि बुद्धिं निवेशय
मयि बुद्धिं निवेशय
निवसिष्यसि मय्येव
निवसिष्यसि मय्येव
अत ऊर्ध्वं न संशयः
अत ऊर्ध्वं न संशयः.
Translation: fix your mind on me alone and surrender your intellect to me. Thereupon you will always live in me. Of this there is no doubt. So Sri Krishna is saying how to do bhakti. If you say Sitaram, 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 will it suffice? Not as per this verse. If you go on a Char Dham Yatra, will it suffice? Not as per this verse. If you do an Ashwamedh Yajna, 100 of them, will you attain God? Not as per this verse. If you go and do 100 Ganga Snans, will your bhakti be complete? Sri Krishna says, Arjuna, I am not talking about physical drill. Jai Jagadish Hare. I am talking about taking your mind to me. this mind has to be engaged in God in bhakti. Physical bhakti we have done for many lifetimes now. If in one lifetime you took the name of God once, in innumerable lifetimes you've taken the name of God innumerable times. So you should have attained God realization manifold times, but we did not attain it even once because the mind was in the world. And when the mouth you were saying, Sham Sundar Hamaro Yar Lakhan Ko Jiya Lalaki. God says this is multiplication in zeros. Because your mind is thinking, when will Swamiji end and the pravachan begin? So, the mind did not go to God. But Swamiji, I was taking the name of God. Your mind was in the world. With your senses you were doing bhakti. This is like multiplication in zeros. Now multiply 0 by 10, you get 0. Multiply 0 by 100, you again get 0. Multiply 0 by a million, you again get 0. So this mind is the cause of bondage and the mind is the cause of liberation. Man eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayo. Famous statement of the Panchadashi. And the same Upadesh was given by Maharshi Kapil Sankhyacharya to his mother Devahuti. Mother, if your mind is attached in the world, you will be in bondage. If your mind goes to God, you will be liberated. From point of view of God, the senses are not important. The mind is. If you see somebody create ill will, this guy is from this party and I am from this party, and you go and whack the guy. God will note the bad karma has happened, you whacked him. But if you just say, I wish I could whack him, but he is too big and I can't do it, but I really wish I could, God will note that you have whacked him. Arey Baba, my hand was behind me. You thought the ill thought. That is what God noted. In the spiritual realm, the spiritual government is noting your intentions. What is the intention behind it? In the world, the physical act is important. People see the externals. Somebody has come to your home. You say, oh my God, this guy has come. He will eat my head for 1 hour. But my file is in his office and his desk. I cannot displease him. Arey Ramesh bhai, so nice you have come here. You should be coming more often. Suno, Ramesh bhai has come. Make some halwa puri for him. Now, Ramesh bhai is not the knower of the mind. He doesn't know what Dinesh bhai is thinking. Where did this nuisance come from? So he gives value to the externals and says, Ramesh bhai loves me so much. Now you do the same with God. From the mouth you say, Sham Sundar Hamaro Yar. And the mind sings, Chai hi so mero pyar. God will say, you never did any kirtan. This is all multiplication and zeros. In the world also, the intention is important. If Dinesh bhai came to know that Ramesh bhai is thinking I am a nuisance, he would never come back again. But the world doesn't know what you are thinking. That is why this world is running. Our thoughts towards each other. If they were revealed, the whole world would start fighting with everyone else. Oh, my wife thinks, oh my God, what a bad breath I have got. My husband thinks like this. My children think, when will the old guy conk off when we get the money, etc., etc. The whole world would start fighting, but they don't know, so somehow or the other this world is running. But in the spiritual realm, God is sitting inside. He doesn't need any reports. He is aware of your thoughts the moment they arise. And that is why he says, I need you to correct your thoughts. So this mind, which we are saying is the cause of bondage and liberation, must be attached in our bhakti to God. And what have we been doing? We've been doing physical bhakti. One grandfather, he was in his puja room. He had given his shoe to the cobbler for repair. And he was doing his Mangal Bhavan, Mangala Hari. Then he would come and ask, Bahu, has the cobbler come with my shoes? Then he would go back, Mangal Bhavan, Mangala Hari. Bahu is not yet come. A little while later, the neighbor came and said, is your father-in-law at home? The daughter-in-law said, no, he's at the cobbler's shop. And he's asking how much for the stitching. The cobbler is saying $1.50. He's saying, I'll give you $1.25. The father-in-law heard what's going on and he came out and said, what kind of a lie are you saying? You know very well that I was in the puja room. The daughter-in-law said, that's very right, Sasurji. But you came twice to ask me, has the cobbler come? With your mouth you were saying Mangal Bhavana Mangala Hari, but where was your mind? Shri Krishna says out here, Arjun, devotion means attaching the mind. That mind has got 4 dimensions to it. Man, Buddhi, Chit, Ahankar. These 4 are not different entities. They are 4 aspects of the same entity called the mind. Some philosophers have clubbed them all together and said, Man. Man eva manushyanam. Cause of bondage and liberation is mind. Some philosophers like Sri Krishna have considered them as 2. Man and Buddhi, mind and intellect. Some philosophers like Maharshi Kapil have considered 3, mind, intellect and ego. Some like Shankaracharya have considered man, buddhi, chit, that is subconscious, and ego. They are all referring to this inner entity called the Antahkaran. Now people say the heart, put God in your heart. But the heart, they don't refer to the physical heart, the ethereal heart, which is the mind. So Sri Krishna, whose philosophy we are studying here, talks of 2, man and buddhi, mind and intellect. So in this verse, he's saying, Arjun, the bhakti that I need you to do requires surrender of both of these to me. The mind. Now, where is your mind? This mind is a very monstrous thing. Kshanam patalam, kshanam yati navasthalam. In a moment it will go from here to Hong Kong, in a moment it will come back. In a moment it will go to Narak, in a moment it will go to Swarg. In fact, the Maitri Upanishad says that this mind is deeper than the Pacific Ocean. Chittameva hi sansaraha. The external world is very small in comparison. The internal world is very big. And you have only conscious awareness of 10% of your mind. 90% you are not even aware, it's the subconscious mind. You come in touch with it in your dreams. When you go to sleep at night, what happens? The intellect switches off. When the intellect switches off, you are in the sleep mode. But the subconscious is working. So you are dreaming. This is the subconscious. The last dream of the night you remember. Why was I doing such funny things in my dream? Your subconscious is throwing up these things. And when the subconscious also switches off, the mind also switches off, then you go into deep sleep. At that time you have no awareness. When you wake up, you say, Sukhamaham aswapsam. I slept very peacefully. Na kinchidaham avedisham. I did not experience anything. But this personality who did not experience anything was still existing when the mind and the intellect were asleep. That is the real you, the soul. And that bliss of deep sleep is so sweet, right? Everybody loves it. It is, in fact, the highest bliss of the material realm. It is not yet the bliss of God. It is only the bliss of cessation of material thoughts. And that itself is so thrilling that a sound sleep is completely fulfilling. So, what I'm trying to say is there is a subconscious aspect of your mind and a conscious aspect. So vast is this mind. Now, when it comes to external conquests, we humans have achieved some measure of success. When it comes to internal conquest, humankind seems to be a failure. I was visiting faculty at IIT Delhi in the January to April semester this year, because my course was officially floated by the institute and 186 students opted for it. So many of the classes I did by Zoom and some I had to do in person, going there. And I was just receiving the inputs from the students. And they were invariably expressing how miserable they are. Now, this is the IIT that every student wishes to enter. And the students are saying how stressful and difficult and adverse it is for all of us. The professor was telling me, Swamiji, every semester there are 4 to 5 suicides. So materially we are getting so much knowledge. When it comes to conquering the mind, we are such big failures. Sri Krishna is saying, Arjun, I need you to give that mind to me. Can you give your mind to Sri Krishna? That is all he wants. If Sri Krishna said, give me $1 billion and you will achieve Bhagavad Prapti, then Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk would be first in the line. We folks won't stand a chance. If Sri Krishna said, you must come to the temple, then you will achieve Bhagavad Prapti. Then what about the lame people? They'd say, what will we do? If Sri Krishna said, you have to take my name 100,000 times, and those who are dumb, what would they do? Sri Krishna says, you don't have legs, you don't have hands, you don't have feet, you don't have eyes. Hari Baba, don't worry, I met Surdas as well. If there's any personality in this world, they must have a mind. You can't have a human being who doesn't have a mind. Sri Krishna says, give the mind to me. Now what is the problem? And the same mind, we have given it to the world, to the husband. Love the husband and the mind, to the wife. To Rasgulla, attached it to the Rasgulla. In America, you give it to your dog as well. Somebody asked me, Swamiji, why is it that in American offices people keep talking about their dogs? I said, look, wherever the mind is attached, that is what is inside the heart. Now, Sri Krishna says, keep me in the heart, keep God. But instead, people are keeping dog inside the heart. So, you have been giving your mind to the world in endless lifetimes. When it comes to giving the mind to God, we are conjuice, miserly. We have been unable to do it. Now, one of the reasons for that is what? Why can we not give the mind to God? Sri Krishna says, give it. Means absorb your mind in me. So what is coming in the way of this absorption? Attachments to the world. Our attachment to the world is what is coming in the way of giving the mind to God. See, if the mind was vacant, and you read this 8th verse of the 12th chapter and said, all I need to is give the mind to God, here it is, Sri Krishna. But now first you take it off from here and take it there. This is the big problem. How to take it away from the world? The sansar chhootta hi nahi. People grow old and still the contemplation is the world. There was a trader. He was on his deathbed. It was evident to the children that Dadaji, Pitaji is going. And all his family members had surrounded him. It was one of those village houses in India. So he was trying to say something, but his throat was suffocated. And the children thought, what is Pitaji trying to tell us? His last, maybe he had hidden some property, some document, some treasure somewhere, and he's wanting to point us to it. So he was trying, ba, jha. The children said, Doctor, can you please get him to speak what he wants? The doctor said, it's a very expensive injection. It will cost 25,000 rupees. They said, he may give us information about 25 crores. Give it. So they gave him the injection and his throat opened up and he said, why are you looking at me? I was trying to tell you the bachada, the cow's child, the bachada is eating the jhadu, ba-jha. You are not concerned the jhadu is being eaten. Saying this, he died. His mind remained stuck in the jhadu and the loss that is going to happen. So, this is the state of being